G'day everyone, Ryan Vanderhorst here from Oz Sawdust Makers. Today I'm going to show you how to build this great looking 3-tiered shelving unit which is perfect for a kid's room or really just about anywhere. And as you've come to expect, the plans are linked below and available on Kreg's buildsomething.com website. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, apart from the legs, everything else is plywood. Accurately cutting down sheets of plywood can stress me out sometimes. Thanks to the Kreg Rip Cut Saw Guide, it makes it a very easy job. So, very thankful for having this right now. So we cut down these sheets as per the instructions, which are linked below. For the legs, I'm using 2 lengths of pine. Measure, mark. The legs have that funky looking angle on them, so there are a few cuts that are at 10 degrees. So now with each shelf we're getting all the pieces, working out which we want to be the front and the back and the sides, then marking out where all the pocket holes are going to go. And now we're really getting into the nitty gritty. The front of the bottom shelf has a curved opening, so we need to mark that out. The sides of the top 2 shelves, as well as the dividers, have a very slight angle that comes down towards the front, so we need to mark those out. Now, this is a very common woodworking trick, but basically, some double-sided tape, you stick all of these pieces together. Because we need to cut the same angle on multiple pieces, we stick them together with double-sided tape, and we only have to cut once. And it means that regardless of whether we cut with a handsaw or a bandsaw or a jigsaw, all of the pieces are going to come out exactly the same. And now just cutting the opening for the bottom shelf. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is K5 time. Because the thickness of the legs and the plywood is different, we'll do the legs first. So we follow all the normal steps. So we set up the jig accurately to drill the pocket holes into the 19mm pine, and then set the jig back up for the 12mm plywood. You know the drill. We drill. And we drill and drill. And we drill and drill and drill and drill and drill. So now we start putting the legs together. I'm also using a little bit of glue on these joints because they are going in a kid's room, and just looking at them, I know that if I had seen these when I was a kid, I would have climbed them. And I would have climbed them lots of times. And I would have climbed them even if I had been told not to climb them. So I'm just going the extra mile and making sure that this is as strong and as safe as possible. So just getting everything together so we can start driving all those pocket screws in. And we're off. I stuffed up. I wasn't paying attention. You know, it's easy when you get this far into a project and you realise you stuffed something up. It can be pretty easy to crack it and just say stuff it. But I really want to build these shelves, and I might as well show you where I went wrong, so hopefully this can be used as a learning opportunity for all of us. So what I've done, the pocket holes that hold the sides of each shelf together, I've drilled those on the inside of the sides, so they would kind of be hidden, and that's where I went wrong. Because the pocket holes are on the inside, and we're only dealing with thin 12mm material, there's not enough meat for screw to hold on. So we've poked through. Now, at first I thought I'm going to have to recut all new sides, but the answer was staring me in the face. Instead, I swapped the sides, all the sides for each shelf around, I have the pocket holes on the outside. Instead of the pocket hole being on the inside and the screw going that way and coming out, pocket hole on the outside and the screw going in, which is exactly how you're supposed to do it. So I should have been doing it like that the whole time. It just means that if I want these holes hidden, then I'll just use plugs, which is easy. So there you go. But when I saw that pop out, I thought, oh no. Okay, now thankfully, we can actually fix this without too big a headache. We just swap those sides around and the pocket holes go on the outside now instead of the inside. And it's as simple as that. And as you've come to expect, in no time at all, everything starts coming together. Now this design has the top two shelves with dividers, and you don't need pocket holes for those. A little bit of glue and some brad nails and you are good as gold. They are not going anywhere. So as I mentioned before, I will be hiding these pocket holes with some custom plugs, which I've cut myself. If you are unsure what I'm talking about when it comes to plugs, there is a video linked in the description, or it might actually pop up on screen right now, which will tell you everything you need to know about the Kreg custom plug cutter. Now I'm just using my trim router to put a nice soft edge on these plywood shelves. And then we give it a really good sand. Normally, at this point, I'd say there's one thing left, which is oil, but we're not doing that today. We're doing something else. Okay, well, paint. And I'm using spray paint. White for the shelves and pink for the legs. I think it'll look pretty good. I don't know. We're about to find out. You can use whatever colours your heart so desires. So the finish line is in sight. It's right in front of us. All we do now that the paint is dry is assemble it. So I'm laying down this small mat on my workbench so I don't damage the legs while I'm putting it all together. So I've rough marked where the three shelves are going to go on that leg. I'm just going to sit the shelves there so I can eyeball it and get an indication of what it's going to look like. I've found my sweet spot, and I want that middle shelf to be just that little bit higher so there's more room to reach into that bottom deeper shelf. So now that I'm happy with the positioning of those shelves, I'm just putting those marks on the other leg and off we go. And now it is as easy as this. We position the shelf on those marks, a couple of brad nails in each leg, and then a couple of those Kreg screws. So we flip it over, repeat that process, we make sure those shelves are lined up on those marks on the leg, couple of brad nails, couple of screws in each, and hooly dooly, we are done. You can see where the screws have gone in. You could put a little bit of white paint over that, but I'm not too fussed about them really. I like the combination of the white and the pink. I think they look really cool. In fact, they would probably be really handy to just keep in the shed. And before you know it, it's in use. For the low cost of a couple of sheets of plywood and a couple of cans of spray paint, we've got this great storage solution that the kids are actually happy to use. If you'd like to see more of my Kreg projects, there is a playlist linked in the description. I'm Ryan from Oz Sawdust Makers. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back again soon for Kreg Australia and Carver Tech with another great project. I'll see you soon.